So it's specifically because I saw this video. I saw the opening to this video. It's like here it is. It is like a minute and a half, and it hooked me. This guy, Daryl Talks Games, he deserves to subscribe. He deserves to subscribe. Okay, like wholeheartedly. The first video I've seen by him, and I was like, whoa. Like, first of all, giant channel, right? Almost 50,000 subscribers. Definitely has his formula down. But the thesis to this video essay was so good that I was like, I have to watch this on stream. I have to watch this with everyone else, so that maybe I can even upload this to YouTube. Find some fighting game inspiration, and I think with the name of the title, why do we play video games we hate? There's no way in hell this guy doesn't at all play fighting games, right? Like, there's got to be some modicum of fighting game gameplay in this video.
But this isn't just any normal plane. This is the final form of planes, the future of airway travel. This is the Concorde, engineered and manufactured by the French-owned Sud Aviation and the British Aircraft.
Had to turn it up to the max.
An aircraft that boasts a top speed over twice the speed of sound. This thing can make a flight from London to New York in only 3 hours.
For reference, from London to New York now is probably like 6 or 7 hours.
A feat that takes most commercial airliners nowadays over 7 hours.
There we go.
And if you're thinking, that's odd, this was over 50 years ago, how is that possible? Then you might have realized that this story does not exactly have a happy ending. The Concorde, a beast as it was, had a beast's appetite. Because of an uncanny fuel consumption, engineering challenges requiring high maintenance costs given that it flies twice the fucking speed of sound, made the upkeep and upfront costs of this thing astronomical. The initial estimates to build and maintain one were already outlandish.
The upkeep and upfront costs were astronomical. Think about that. Just rationalize that in a video game sense for yourself, not in an actual like airplane or business sense. The upfront cost is astronomical. Oh no, look at all this shit I have to learn immediately before I even start getting good at the game.
Actual costs.
That's why that hooked me immediately. That caught me. I was like,
the original estimate. And because of this, as you can imagine, trying to sell the Concorde to airlines was like trying to sell cuts of filet mignon to McDonald's.
The fuck do they want that shit for?
Despite several airlines across the globe initially showing interest in purchasing some, once all was said and done, only Air France and British Airways bought into their lavish invention,
Two airway lines.
It would in fact be the future of aviation.
And it wasn't.
A grand total of 20 Concordes were built, and it was in service for around 27 years until it was finally retired.
What do you mean I gotta do re-jumps?
After a tragic crash.
What do you mean I gotta learn how to Korean backdash?
Financially, it left both the UK and France astonishingly deep in the hole.
Look how much money they lost. In total, both the French and UK governments put in $1.4 billion, 1.44 billion to get Concorde off the ground. 2.8 billion went into realizing the world's first supersonic transport. Yet neither government made any money. They lost $2.8 billion or billion, whatever their currency is. That's insane. That's a lot of money. Even in 19, I think this the last of these flights would have been in like the early 2000s, right? So they tried to make a profit. They tried to make this work for like 30 years.
Astonishingly,
let's just print more money.
The question:
Do you remember World War I or no?
Flaws and you even lack of profitability. Why did its creators insist on going?
Here we go. This part I love.
Lack of profitability. Question, of course, is given its flaws and complete lack of profitability, why did its creators insist on going through with it?
Even without its lack of profitability, why did its creators insist on going through with it? Despite not understanding how to do rejump combos, despite not understanding how to orb walk in League of Legends, despite not understanding the best colors in Magic the Gathering, why do you keep playing?
As marvelous as it was, once global interest vanished and it became an expensive toy instead of a way to generate massive revenue, instead of cutting their losses and moving on,
I'll try to move my camera so you guys can read it too.
Trying to redeem this financial black hole.
There we go. Let me move my camera so you guys can read it too.
Speaking of financial black holes, here's a better question. Why are you still playing Genshin?
There it goes. He gets into the video games. That, when he did that, I was like, dude,
why
I
do
love
you still
this.
go catch every new Terra Raid Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet despite actively berating the game on Reddit? Why do you spend 2 hours getting stepped on?
Everyone is talking shit about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Even people who love Pokemon and love Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. They go on Reddit, haha, meme funny, glitch, haha, infinite money, you know, and then they go and they play the game for 8 hours a day. This game sucks. This game is broken. This is the worst game I've ever fucking played. Anyways, let me boot it up for 8 hours. Like that.
Despite actively berating the game on Reddit. Why do we spend 2 hours getting stepped on by Lady Maria?
Wait. You guys don't want to get stepped on by Lady Maria for 2 hours? I thought that's why everyone played Elden Ring. I thought that was like the part I'm supposed to get to that everyone loved. Just getting stepped on by. I do want to. Okay, just making sure.
Backlog, then go load up Bloodborne again. Why are you texting Destiny 2 again when it keeps leaving you on red? It has always
I have so many friends. I have so many friends that just like bitch about Destiny 2 being like a travesty of a game, it not being as good as it could be, like wasted potential. It could have been so much better. Like the devs don't know how to handle it. They're like mistreating the community. And then I see them stream and I'm like, oh cool, they're booting up a stream. I wonder what they're playing. Destiny 2. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, okay.
How we all seem to have at least one game that we play that we actively despise.
He hasn't mentioned a fighting game yet. There's got to be a fighting game
For
here,
most
right?
of us, this is
Rocket
competitive
League?
game.
Okay.
Because we don't actually hate the game.
Strive.
We hate our losing.
He did it. There it is. Strive. There's a fighting game in here. Okay. Well, what did he say?
This is competitive games because we don't actually hate the game. We hate our losing.
That's fair. We do hate losing. I think that a big thing about head-to-head competitive games and even Souls games like Soulsborne's, things like that, is that they are meant to frustrate you. Like a fighting game is fun in its frustration, and Soulsborne games, and even Monster Hunter to a degree, right? Those like big, I have to understand boss's pattern or die style game, or I have to understand this player's tendencies or die style game. They're like meant to be frustrating in the way that they're fun, right? Like the frustration is part of the fun, and the fun is part of the frustration. That's just how it is.
We hate losing. These games are usually extremely fun in the beginning because we're actively improving. There is a lot to work on, and our rising skill is noticeable.
And then around the time you start to feel, oh, Street Fighter 6, I closed my eyes, I didn't even see it. And then at some point, you notice that you are plateauing, that you are not gaining those giant amounts of XP, like actual IRL XP. Right, you're not like, hey, I already know how to anti-air now, so I know what I'm doing against this guy. Oh, I know my bread and butters, you know. Like then you have to fix all the little problems, and when you have to fix those little problems, the game becomes more of a chore. Especially because a lot of the players you are playing against, if you like rapidly get there, right? If you rapidly get to a point where you've understood, like I'm in Diamond in Street Fighter 6 for reference. I don't think I should be in Diamond, but I'm there because I have a base understanding of fighting games, a very good base understanding of fighting games, but I have a terrible understanding of Street Fighter. And everyone in Diamond, or at least most of the people I fight in Diamond, have a very good understanding of Street Fighter, where their anti-air angles are, where their jump back jab angles are, where the best openings to attempt throws and delay teching, and like how to properly walk back and forth into crouching medium kick drive rush. Like they understand these things. First of all, my character doesn't have a crouch medium kick drive rush. I'm a charge character, so I got cooked. But all of those things, all of those small things culminate into like this plateauing effect that a lot of people feel when playing any competitive game. Right? You make it to gold in League of Legends, and then suddenly the skill ceiling in gold from where you were in silver, in iron, and bronze is massively different, and you are like, I'm not having fun anymore. Everyone's kicking the shit. I walk out of spawn, and they're like, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? And you're getting your fucking ass beat right out of spawn.
But once we iron out all the basics and we're hashing out smaller, more delicate things, like when the chance
this guy's in silver. Look at this combo. He's in silver.
Or sideboarding for a specific card.
And that wasn't classic.
For a harder combo to finish out a round, or sideboarding for a specific card our opponent.
And he shows off Magic the Gathering too. And Overwatch.
And suddenly improving isn't so easy anymore. When that happens, because critiquing ourselves is much more difficult, we might shift blame onto the mechanics or.
I felt that when I got to Masters, the first time Fantasy Strike. Yeah, that's how it feels, right? Like, so the first time I made it to I don't even play Beanie Rules. Yo, what up? What up, Kino? How you doing? I don't even play Smash Ultimate, but when I got to Elite Smash, and Smash Ultimate with a friend's Switch, right? I was like, hey, like let me get Link or Diddy Kong to Elite Smash on your Switch. You're not gonna play these characters, right? And he's like, nah, yeah, like I don't plan on playing them. And if I do, at least you got me to Elite Smash, so like I'll be playing against better players. And I was like, okay, yeah. So I was like chilling out, playing, made it to Elite Smash in like, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour. I made it in like an hour. I played Smash 4 competitively, and I played Smash Brawl, and I played a little bit of Melee and Project M. So like I have platform fighter background, especially when it comes to Super Smash Brothers. And then I got to Elite Smash, and I was like, boy, howdy. These guys know when to jump out of mix-ups. They know when to attempt to mash out of fake pressure. They understand what strings are real. They know good edge guard angles. They know how to recover properly in a game where like you can literally get ledge trapped for 30 seconds and a minute at a time against really strong players. They were ledge trapping me for 30 minutes, for 30 seconds to a minute at a time. I was like, damn, I got hit 9 times just trying to get back to the stage. I made it back, but now I'm one touch. As soon as they breathe on me, I'm gonna die. This stock is reset, you know? And that's kind of how it feels. That's the plateauing effect that I was referring to. Let's see what he says about it.
The connection. And I think this is why some folks spend the second half of their...
Oh, hold on. Let's see. TF2, 6K plus hours. Most uninstalled game. The last 4K was basically me trying to live the first 2K. You get small instances of what specific... You get small instances, I think he misspelled instances, of that specific past experiences or new ones that just add on to the heap of longing for the next session. Almost like faith and hope towards them is what blinds us from hated/bad experiences. Maybe.
Their time with the game chasing the feeling they had during their first
That's fair.
half. But this is just the tip of the iceberg, because it's not just competitive games, baby. It's not even just difficult games. There are people out there that feel this way about titles from every genre. You've read the video title, you know what we're here to discuss. Why is there sometimes such a disparity in what we say?
I hate this game so much. Also you. This is some of you. You'll talk shit about your fit. Man, fuck Tekken. I fucking hate Tekken. This game's so fucking ass. Bro, I hope I never play Tekken again. I want a new fighting game to come out that piques my... I want Virtua Fighter 6, bro. Fuck Tekken. I'm never playing it. Anyways. Like, this is some of you. Like, don't lie to yourself. Man, dude, Soul Calibur pisses me off. I can't fucking stand Soul Calibur. I don't want to play this shit anymore. Me. I actually haven't been playing it. It's been helping my mental a lot. But, like, if I go back and I play it with friends. I don't play on ranked ladder. There's no point.
Now, I've broken up this video into 4 cute little categories, and somehow, hilariously, League of Legends fits into all of them.
That's not a good thing.
I'm very happy I don't play this game. So without further ado, let's hit the first category and talk about how the hate makes you stronger. Okay. Some games are built to make you hate them, or at least
I said that earlier.
Feel that way.
Yep.
Competitive multiplayer games
specifically
with brutal, unforgiving difficulty, bully you and beat you down
into
submission.
The way that it works is you are getting your ass beat so hard that the gratification comes from finally fucking winning, right? Like, I play against my friends who are very gristled in Street Fighter. I've been playing since Third Strike or Street Fighter 4 or even like since the beginning of 5. And they have a vast majority of understanding of Street Fighter at a way higher level than I do, right? But we both understand fighting games. So when I'm doing well and I'm like getting really close to winning a game and I cannot clutch it out to save my life, I cannot open them up in that final instance and they beat me like 10 times. And then I get the one and I'm like, fuck yeah! Like, that's the feeling that these games want to invoke. Like, that's what Souls games do. That's what Cuphead does. That's what Sekiro, which is I guess also kind of a Soulsborne game, does. That's what I don't know the name of this game. And fighting games, right? I think there's a lot of competitive games. I have hated Tekken 7 since I played it, and I never became so good at a game in my entire life. Yeah, you see what I mean, Kino?
The Binding of Isaac, Darkest Dungeon, Overwatch, Street Fighter, Souls games, Fear and Hunger, Magic the Gathering, just by simply reading these.
Bro, I was playing Magic the Gathering before stream today and I was getting my fucking ass beat. I drew all lands. Like, I was like, damn, this hand is godlike. This hand is gas. I'm gonna fucking win. I had 3 lands, 4 spells, and there were like 4 of the best spells in my deck. Like, they drew me cards, they got me advantage, they were removal spells, whatever, right? And then I drew all fucking lands. Like, And I'm like, well, what did I do wrong? Did I build my deck wrong? Like, I went into my deck list, I looked at it as if I did something wrong, and I'm like, I'm playing 23 lands in a deck with 5 and 6 drops. I cannot lower my land count anymore, because if I do, I will never see enough lands. And I have 4 land searchers, 2 fetch lands. I'm sorry, yeah. 4 land searchers, 2 fetch lands, 4 mana dorks, and 6 to 8 draw spells. I'm just like, what am I doing wrong here? You know, like, and that hate makes you want to optimize, makes you want to see the flaws in your game plan, not see the flaws in the game and say, oh, this game sucks, I'm going to turn it off. That's what those games are meant to do.
Someone watching this started sweating. It should go without saying that the pain these games make you feel
it's
comes
TF2.
from the fact that at some point,
It's 80s.
you will do a fair amount of losing in them. In fact, there will be play
It's
sessions
Drive.
where you probably spend more time losing than you do winning. And in the context of single-player games where you aren't facing a human opponent on equal terms, most people attribute the reason for that loss either to the game or to themselves. And because of this,
You always have to attribute it to yourself. Unless there's something actually game defining that ruins the experience, that makes it impossible for you to win, you have to blame yourself. You have to say, I am actively making mistakes. I do not know what I am doing wrong. And then you have to attempt to figure out, it's lagged, bro, he's cheating. True. You have to figure out, like, for a long time in Street Fighter, for like the first, like, yeah, there's also small outside factors, right? Those things are going to come up in every genre of game. Oh, my team was throwing, my top lane was feeding, my sniper couldn't hit a headshot, I didn't have my healer, you know. This guy doesn't understand rotation patterns in Call of Duty, like, you know what I mean? All my loot was trash, you know. Oh, I didn't get any good hand traps when I was playing. Bro, he comboed off and I didn't draw my max E. Like, there is always an excuse. But you also have to think to yourself, how could I have played that better, right? A lot of what I say now when I'm losing in fighting games is, I don't know what to do here. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I cannot understand how I lost. And I say that because hopefully someone in chat will see that I don't know what I did wrong, and maybe you guys will see. And if not, I have to go into the replay and I have to look like, how did he really outplay me here? Like, how did I possibly let this game that I should have won get completely out of my hands? How did I do it? Is it because the game is bullshit, or is it because I lack the knowledge and the skills to understand what makes for a good play in that situation?
You might find yourself in a constant state of
skill issue. Ah! This game sucks. Skill issue. I love this.
Maybe the first few times you die, you blame the game for being unfair, and then you adjust and realize how you should actually handle that situation, which feels spectacular because
look, I want to use DJ upkick in every situation. I don't always have charge. I can't be like, bro, he's jumping at times I don't have charge. This game sucks. Find another problem. Find another solution for the problem. Back heavy kick, great anti-air. Jab, decent anti-air. Jump back jab, probably solid too. Backdash if you're not in the corner. Drive rush out, drive rush under him if you can. Like, there's a lot of situations where we're just like, we train our brains to think, I know the best option for this situation. The best option for this situation is this. And then that situation comes up and it's not the best option. And you're like, this guy made the wrong play. This guy's an idiot and he's stupid and I lost to it. Or did he give an option that you were not ready for? And because of that, you didn't have the knowledge to figure out that what you usually do isn't the right thing to do in that situation.
Because you've overcome real adversity. But because there is always that struggle state before you fully understand how to handle certain enemies and scenarios, you are constantly re-bombarded with the thought, man, just when I thought I knew what I was doing. Now, of course, when you finally understand that next boss or bit of platforming, you're back to signing autographs and kissing babies, and it's what pushes you to keep playing despite the hell you were raising 5 minutes ago. But games like these, in my opinion, want you to loathe them because that's what gives them victory meaning.
Yep.
They're both rewarding and maddening, but they are addicting because of something called a variable reinforcement schedule, which I've talked about before. This is how slot machines keep you coming back. They don't reinforce every effort you make. They pay out very sparingly, which in practice is what most brutally difficult games do to the average player.
Yep, correct.
You only win a small fraction of the time, but once you hit the jackpot once, you're hooked.
You're hooked.
Constantly
It's over.
chasing that fleeting glory.
You're like, bro, I cooked that boss so hard. I knew exactly what I was doing. And then you make it to the next boss. And you're like, this game's trash. I fucking hate this game. There's no way this boss is fair. This shit is cheap. They need to nerf this boss in the next patch. And then 2 hours later, 3 hours later, you beat the boss. And you're like, I'm the fucking greatest. I outplayed the shit out of that boss. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to beat up the next one like that. It's an endless cycle.
Glory that you once had before.
It's an endless cycle.
The difference, of course, is that your skill is the determining factor here and not a random probability, but the fact remains that when you don't just get to win every time, it makes winning mean.
I wish I had that on Dark Souls. I don't play Dark Souls, so.
Coming back.
I personally don't play games just because they're difficult. Like, I'm the fighting game player that says I want everything in fighting games other than fighting the player to be easy. I want easy execution. I want easy motion inputs, if no motion inputs. I want easy movement. I want easy understanding of throw, of strike, throw, whatever, the mix-up situation. I love that. I do not think the fighting games need to be hard on a executional level because of the fact that it's already hard to beat another person's ass that wants you fucking dead. Like, that's not what I want out of fighting games, because it's already hard enough to beat people up in a fighting game because nobody wants to lose, so people are going to play like they want to win.
For a long time. Which is why Street Fighter has been suckling away at all of my time this summer, and certainly not for any other reasons.
You love Cammy, we get it. We all love Cammy. Wait, did he do the ass shot or no?
And certainly not for any other.
Bro, pan the camera down. Just pan the camera down a little bit. It's fine.
And this begs the question, what if we do add that third factor, another human player? Like I said earlier,
there we go, another human player. That's what I mean.
Once you hit a certain skill percentile of the player base, improving your own game doesn't come as quickly or as easily as it was at the beginning.
Because so many players are very average or very bad at video games. This is going to be Smash Melee, by the way. I know this scene. I've seen the Smash Melee opening 1,000 times because I love Smash, okay? I love Smash Melee. I just don't play it. It's hard. I don't like executionally hard games for no reason. I think it's fucking stupid. But I love watching it because the people who have become the best at that craft make it look amazing. Now, whenever you're starting in a video game, especially a fighting game, card games too, right? A lot of the lower level players are really bad, okay? If you have a basic understanding of how to be good at a video game, how to be good at a game, you will stomp most people. You will end up at kind of the height of the bell curve. You will go from rookie through iron, through bronze, through silver, through gold, get stuck in plat, get stuck in diamond. You're like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I could have sworn I'm challenger. I was just shitting on everybody. That's because the other people have devoted so much time to the game that they understand it to a degree that will take you time to get there. Do not fret. Do not beat yourself up for not being able to be one of the best players in the game as soon as you pick it up. That's just unreasonable, right? Even some of the best fighting game players in the world, it took them a long time, or it took them a while to get where they wanted to be in Street Fighter 6. Maximilian, dude, is not master yet in Street Fighter 6. He's not master, unless he got it off stream recently. He was Diamond 4, Diamond 5. He was like, dude, like, everyone's so good. It's fucking hard. I'm sweating out here. Like, he's a Street Fighter veteran. He's been playing Street Fighter forever. He's a former competitive player for Street Fighter and KI. Like, he knows how to play fighting games. Hotashi, it took him a long time. He wanted to give up. He wanted to quit. He was so tired of the way the game functioned. And then he got to master. And then he put out guides chronicling his journey of how he figured out what he was doing wrong and how to play through it. Give yourself some breathing room. Don't expect the world of yourself immediately. It's the worst thing you can do for your mentality and enjoying a game. That is another thing that leads to us playing games we hate. We force the hate on ourselves by looking so far into the future. You like boot up the game, you beat one bronze player, and you're like, I'm going to be fucking master next session, I swear to you. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that.
In fact, now, to stay competitive, you must confront a big, sweaty, mean, and daunting reality.
The meta. Most effective tactic available.
Like the Korean backdash and Tekken.
I talked about this earlier.
I talked about this earlier. Control and League, hyper tapping and Tetris. Actually,
no, it's rolling now, right?
That's rolling.
It's rolling now. Yeah,
new meta.
it's rolling.
You see how this keeps moving? Bunny hopping and Counter Strike, handling Oko and Magic the Gathering.
He mentioned Oko. I fucking hate that card. Oh my gosh. Micro walk combos. I don't think you actually need micro walk in most combos, by the way. So I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, people mad that they can't be 10-year-old veterans after 50 hours. Like, yo, slow your fucking roll, bro. Chill out. Like, people have been playing Street Fighter. Street Fighter 5 is like 8 years old, right? So even if you start at the beginning of 5, you have 8 years on someone. Like, relax. It's your first Street Fighter. It's okay to be bad. It's the first step to admitting. The first step to getting better is admitting that you suck.
Other shit you've never heard of but want nothing to do with. You're going to want to have something to do with if you want to
See,
win
that's the combo
at
you
a
do if
high
you don't
level.
know the micro walk combo. And
Artorias
guess
in
what? You
Dark
don't need that
Souls
micro walk
is
combo.
the
You don't need
same
that.
opponent if you boot up Dark Souls in 2013 or in 2023, but human opponents in Dota 2 in 2013 are a far cry from human opponents in 2023 because humans evolve, adapt, and innovate new ways to exploit games mechanics, creating an ever-moving standard if you want to remain truly competitive. If you don't and you just want to enjoy playing with friends, that's wonderful. Please enjoy yourself. But I think another reason these games provoke so much outward contempt is because you can dump a ton
Street Fighter
of
6
time
feels
into
fair?
them
I don't know
and
if-
then blink.
I don't know if it feels fair. Drive Rush is a travesty of mechanic. We might talk about the mechanics today. I don't want to go on a rant about like balancing the mechanics and the characters, but I do think that there are some like overtuned like drive mechanics, and it's not that I want the drive system completely removed, but I do want the drive system tweaked, right? Like it's probably really hard to tweak, but I definitely want it tweaked because it's very, very strange the way it currently works. Like some of the there's two specific mechanics that are like by far and away the best. Like the best compared to Tekken 7 where a hell sweep can steal around. Street Fighter 6 feels hella fair, hard but fair. Beaning, what the hell? Yeah, your mind is not here today.
And then realize how much work you
Look at
still
Beanie hating the
have to
game.
do
That's me.
to keep on winning. The metagame can leave you behind, and trying to keep up and learn all the new tech if you aren't a pro can be exhausting. The game you boot up tonight may only be an echo of what it was back when you first fell in love with it. You might spend 100 hours on a shooter, have a blast, take a break, and then spend another 300 trying to recapture the fun you had in
the first 100, yeah.
It's for this reason that I am very much a massive fan of the first year of a fighting game's release. That is when I have the most fun playing them.
It's true.
But eventually, I just have to hang out my boots because learning all the new tech and relearning my character's best buttons after balance patches is just too much to keep a firm grip on, for me at least. However, for many other folks who adore that game and can't keep up anymore, walking away might be a little less easy.
Is that Elspeth?
Especially since they
Elspeth
spent
versus
so
Eleanor? I didn't know
much time
Elspeth
with it. In
gained
short,
wings.
they
I don't know
are
the Magic the
simply
Gathering lore. In too deep, and I'm
The creators
trying
of
to
the
keep
Concord
all the
also
thoughts in my head.
They had invested several years and exorbitant amounts of money to make this project take off. Pun very.
In too deep. That perfectly describes how I continued to play Soul Calibur for so long. I built my YouTube channel off of Soul Calibur. I built my Twitch off of Soul Calibur. I slowly started moving away from it because I realized my talk segment content for YouTube was doing so much better than any set, any rank grind, any casual match, any first to 10 versus top player that I had ever uploaded in Soul Calibur. Because it's just better content. It's just more evergreen. I can talk about something, an overarching concept that means more to the whole of the FGC or the whole of gaming, because a lot of concepts I talk about can be applied to other competitive games, rather than watch a first to 10 with a really solid player from 4 years ago that is no longer applicable because the balance of the game has changed and the meta of the game has changed. Not only that, the skill of the players has changed, right? You can be in too deep and still get out. I'm a perfect example, bro. Like, I love Soul Calibur and I still watch it. I still commentate it. But you will not catch me competing in Soul Calibur 6. Unless it's at an offline, like an offline major, an offline... Like, but I'm not going to sit through a bunch of online tournaments and, like, stress myself out. I'm not going to go grind in the ranked ladder and stress myself. There's no point. I don't need to be in that deep. Like, you can be intrinsically part of the community and still game without being so engulfed in it that it like takes over your life and makes you hate it. It's better to step away at that point. It's so much better for your health, for your mental health specifically, to step away at that point. And I say that as someone who had to do it. Okay, I'm not saying it and I'm like, bro, it's easy, but I'm saying it can be done.
Very much intended, and when they ultimately landed no buyers, they had two options: cut losses and move on, or double down and try
You
to
cut
make
losses
this
and move
work.
on, brother.
You know how that story ends.
Yep.
They fell
They
victim
doubled down
to the sunk
cost
cost
fallacy.
fallacy, which some of you I'm sure have been thinking about since the video started. In case you don't know what this is, the sunk cost fallacy is a little devil of an error that humans make. It's the
You've put in, you stick with the same course of action because you put in so much time or money into it, when in reality you would save more time and money letting it go.
tendency for people to stick with a course of action when in reality giving up on it and accepting the current loss of time and resources would ultimately be best. It's quitting while you're ahead before things get ugly. It's
Basically.
driving to Target only for them to be out of Pro controllers and then on a whim buying a new phone case and a soft pretzel since you
Because
came
you're already-
all this
I'm already
way
here.
and
I'm
spent
already
the
here. I should
gas
just-
when
I
you
should just-
probably should have
yeah.
just saved your money. It's caving
I'm
on
already
your
here. I should
diet
just buy something
because
else.
You've already ruined it by having Popeyes for lunch. May as well go out again for dinner since the day is shot, right? It's continuing to play a game that you hate because at this point
You've already put so much
sunk
time and money into it.
hours into it. You've got a rank, rare gear, things you've built, things you're proud of, things you're not proud of. But quitting now would mean it all goes to waste, right? I use the Concorde as an example because I think it illustrates just how deep-rooted this fallacy really is
In our psyches. It's not just
No matter
video
how
game
big
players,
or
it's
important
everyone.
a decision, even if it is a several billion-pound endeavor, humans are still fallible to the sunk cost fallacy, which means you are certainly at risk of falling for it when you're considering quitting a game.
Is that
you
Multi-Blood?
poured a ton
That's
of yourself
Multi-Blood.
into.
Nice.
And this is as true for
he
competitive
plays a lot of
games as it is
stuff.
for really any game you can play.
He must
Whether
have
you're
gotten this
chasing
footage from somewhere else,
nostalgia
'cause he
with
said he doesn't play
Pokemon and
League.
you're trying really hard not to notice its quirks, or just
Why was it
using
running at
FF16
fucking
for
2
whatever
FPS?
reason, you're already 30 hours in. Can you just walk away now? You
Yes.
couldn't walk away from targets.
You can.
What we don't
You
like to
should.
do is admit that our effort has been wasted, and because of this, past a certain
People hate failure. In the simplest way, people hate failure. You set your mind to a goal, and the problem is because you set your mind to a goal too high, or before understanding what the task at hand was, you now say, I've already put in time to complete this task. I've got to complete this task. Right? I'm Diamond 2 right now. I'm hard stuck Diamond 2. I told myself I wanted to get Diamond or Master. I made it to Diamond. I can stop. I don't have to continue the rank grind of Street Fighter 6. I don't need to get Master. It doesn't matter to me, right? But parts of me are just like, go for Master, go for Master, go for Master. My brain does it. My brain tells me it's like, go for Master, get back on rank, go for Master. I don't need to, and I shouldn't, because the time investment and the amount of disdain that it creates for the game, right? If I'm truly not having fun, I do have fun. Like, it's there are moments where I'm just like, dude, this kind of character is really annoying, or I hate this situation that like we're both put in, me and the other player. Like, I hate this style of RPS, whatever, give and take, what have you. If you just stop, then you have more time to devote to other things that you want to do. Right? You could sink another 60 hours into Destiny because you've already put over 1,000 in. You could sink another 200 hours into Destiny because you already put over 1,000 hours in. But maybe there's another game out there for you. Maybe there's another activity out there for you that will reward your time better.
certain point, it's often easier to just stick it out and see a game through to its end instead of putting it out of its misery, even if it's an absolute drag and we still feel like we've wasted our time playing it. When we
There you go.
finally beat it.
Yep, I love that. It said that was fun. Thank God that's over. That's when you finish a game that you were like, I'm gonna stream this game today, guys. Hey guys, we're gonna do a full playthrough of this game. MMORPGs, yeah, MMORPG, basically. Hey, what up, Elliot? Hey guys, we're gonna do a full playthrough of this game. We're gonna get through it no matter how long it takes. And then you play it for 2 fucking months on stream because there's just like 5 bosses you can't get through. And every day you're playing for 7 hours straight, losing to that boss, losing all your resources, restarting your save file so you don't lose the resources. And then you make it to the end and you're like, yeah, chat, we finally did it. I'm so happy. This game was a blast to play. And then you turn off the camera and you're like, thank fuck, I can play something else. Oh my gosh. Just be honest with yourself. Yo, this game sucks. Sorry, chat. I'm not finishing this fucking game. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it to myself.
It's an absolute drag,
Me,
and we
with
still
Guilty Gear
feel like
Strive.
we've wasted our time playing it when we finally do finish it. Now, there's something interesting that I came across when I was researching for this video. A lot of people explain that discrepancy between their disdain for a game and their strangely hefty
Hey,
play
what game
time.
is that? Is that Final Fantasy 14 or the Final Fantasy Online, the online Final Fantasy? I can't remember what it's called. What is it called? Is it 15 or 14? Is that Final Fantasy Online? That looks familiar.
that discrepancy
15?
between
Thanks.
their disdain for a game and their strangely hefty playtime by saying that if you don't do that...
Okay. Why do you keep playing a game you hate so much? So many people on here are saying how much they hate the game and they still have more hours in the game than a full work week. That is insane. You guys need help. Please explain the psychology behind why you're willing to subject yourself to something that makes you feel so much anger, hatred, and disgust that you are willing to work a second job just to feel bad. I feel absolutely no remorse for people who choose to subject themselves to negativity and then complain about it. Frankly, it is your choice to play the game. Why wouldn't you rather be doing something more entertaining? Wouldn't it be freeing and more relaxing to feel happy for a change? Being angry all the time is draining and can lead to health problems. It's just a video game, people. It's not worth making yourself angry, depressed, or even homicidal over. Yes, I have reported a few people for making threats of physical violence on this forum. The next time you go to hit that play button, ask yourself, why am I doing this to myself? Dude, this guy is spitting.
Tons of people will hit you with the, well, how can you say you hate it when you haven't even finished it?
I hate that argument. Bro, dude, look, you're not even master rank. Dude, how can you say you hate Street Fighter 6? Not everyone's going to make the master rank. Dude, if you don't finish the full rank climb in League of Legends, how can you really say that you hate League of Legends? Dude, you know how many people make it a challenger? Okay? You know what I mean? Bro, it's like 0.02%. Okay? Like, no, shut the fuck up. You haven't even crafted the best decks in the game in Legends of Runeterra, in Marvel Snap, and Magic the Gathering Arena. How can you say you hate the way the card game works? Like, what are you doing?
How can your opinion be
Shut
valid
up.
if you haven't given it a fair shot? Which leads us to... I simultaneously have a
You want me
fair
to do
bit of
what now?
pity and respect for the folks that go out of their way to finish games simply so that they can say, "Now
This
that
game
that's
sucks."
done, I can fully articulate why I hate this game. I
He's
came
spitting.
across this because I found an old Kotaku article about how a ton of people were requesting refunds for games after playing them for 50 plus hours, which is like calling the waiter over to your table and asking for a refund on your empty plate because your steak dinner wasn't very good. Some of the comments are gold though. I had no clue people did this.
Wait, what did
Your
that
steak
say?
Dinner wasn't very good. Some of the
I mean, I dated a girl for 3 years once before I realized I hated her. Yeah, that's fair. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes it doesn't happen in a day. Sometimes there is just a thing that happens, a flip in your brain, a switch in your brain, or an interaction in the game that becomes so prevalent, so outwardly facing that you just know this is not for me. Guilty Gear Strive? I don't fucking like 6P. I don't like 6P. I think 6P is like a travesty of a mechanic that it beats like standing buttons because they're highs. I'm like, man, fuck 6P. I use it. I play Nagoro Yuki. Of course I'm gonna fucking use it, okay? A Bridget throws a yo-yo at me. I'm fucking killing her. She's dying. That doesn't mean I like the mechanic. I'm using it because when I played the game, I understood the strength of said mechanic. But how overarching the mechanic was to the neutral play of the game was so frustrating and so just irritating that I was like, this is not the game for me. I don't like this style of button. And that's how a lot of anime games work. Like Persona has like head invul buttons and stuff, right? That like if you're using a high poke, they can like head invul you out of it. And you're like, well, what the fuck? Like, why are you hitting me out of that? We're standing on the ground. They also added chest invul buttons, but that's besides the point, right? It doesn't always become super apparent that you dislike something in an hour, in 2 hours, in 24 hours. I got through most of... What is the name of that game? I got through most of Resident Evil 5, the one with Chris and the one where he's in Africa. I got through most of Resident Evil 5. And then I realized that it was just a watered down, worse version of Resident Evil 4. And I was like, dude, I don't really like this game. I finished it because like it's just a single player game. It wasn't really hard or anything. But like I was thinking to myself, I was like, this game's not fun. I don't like this game. I had already played about like 14 or 15 hours, right? That's a lot for a single player game because I was doing like, I was taking my time. I was like exploring stuff. I was looking around like, oh, like, you know, is there any like callbacks to previous games, any Easter eggs as it were, before I realized it's not for me. I finished all of World Tour for Street Fighter 6. Do I think everyone has to wait until they fully finish World Tour to have an opinion of World Tour? No, the gameplay of World Tour can hit you that you don't like it in 30 minutes, or it can hit you that you didn't like it after 30 hours. You don't have to finish a game to say, I don't like this game. That's the dumbest... Bro, you haven't crafted every card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. How can you say you don't like Yu-Gi-Oh? Do you have every archetype? Have you played every single deck in Yu-Gi-Oh? You haven't? Okay, then you can't say you don't like Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, what kind of... What kind of fucking argument?
Clue people did this, but it made me realize that even if I can usually tell very quickly if I'm going to vibe with the game, and in fact I often may be a little too quick to judge, a lot of people do genuinely feel like they can't fully decide how they feel about a title until they're sufficiently nose deep in the sauce. They need to wait and see if the story picks up. They need to know if the combat is surprisingly deep.
You need to finish a dish for... Yeah, I take a bite of shit. I have to finish the whole plate of shit before I realize I didn't like the shit. Shit is not good. It tastes gross, but I didn't eat the whole pile of it. So how can I say that I didn't like it?
You get to some of the bigger challenges. They need to discover if they find themselves thinking about
maybe there'll be a piece of corn in here that's delicious. Like, come on now.
People may not know that they hate that game until hour 50. Especially if it's a game or a series that other people are constantly in a hyped up frenzy about. Have you ever been playing something and then said,
is that Shadow of the Colossus?
What does everyone see
in this game?
Because to me, so far, it's just been fine.
That's me in Guilty Gear Strive. Like, I know so many people who rant and rave and get so fucking hype about Strive, and they're like, dude, up until Street Fighter 6 came out, I couldn't get off Strive. Strive is like the best modern fighting game. And I'm like, I just don't see it, brother. Like, that's... I try not to just say a game sucks anymore. 2 minutes of ad? Sorry. I try not to say anymore that a game just sucks. I try my very best because it doesn't feel right to just be like, this game blows. But a game cannot be for you, and you can figure it out in 50 minutes or 50 hours. And that's okay. Like, no one's telling you that if people are telling you that you have to spend 50 hours in a game, 100 hours in a game, you have to beat the game, especially in single player titles, to fully figure out if you like it, those people don't have brains. Their brain cells no longer work. They are smooth brain. There's something... Tell them to seek professional help, because that's not how anything else in life works. I eat one french fry from my french fries, and it's cold. It doesn't have any seasoning on it, no salt, no sauce, and I don't like it. I don't have to finish all of my fries before I realize that those fries fucking sucked. It's that simple.
Want anything spoiled, so I'm just gonna keep going. There's this thing called informational influence, and you've certainly felt it plenty of times before. Imagine you're walking through a public place and you see a small crowd of people gazing up at the sky.
And you want to turn and look too. Yeah, you're like, what are they looking at? What are they looking at?
Up there. As you walk by them, what do?
Everyone else starts looking.
Look up and see what they're
Everyone else starts looking.
I found this clip of these college students doing
and
this.
Look, everyone else starts doing
watching people fight the urge to see what they're missing, but finding out what we're missing is what makes informational influence work. In ambiguous situations, we typically perceive the actions or beliefs of the...
Wow, everyone's saying this game is so good. Let me give it a shot. Like, what am I missing over there? What's going on in that game? Like, everyone seems to be having such a good time. Let me try it. And then you try it, and it's not for you, and you're like, oh god, why? Like, it's too late. You already, you saw Bike in Rule 34. You saw Food to Bike in Rule 34, and it's over for you. You can't take that back.
Majority.
Some of you probably like that. Maybe I shouldn't use that as like an oh god why,
which has definitely never caused the spread of misinformation before. If you've never played a Zelda game before and this many people think Tears of the Kingdom is fantastic, it can't be bad, right? I think this is another big reason why we.
I don't like. Okay, I think he's spitting. I've watched playthrough of Tears of the Kingdom, like while I'm doing other stuff, while I'm like looking at stuff for my streams, like fine for YouTube. Speaking of, hello YouTube, this whole thing will probably get uploaded. There's no reason not for me to upload it, because I think that there's a lot of good stuff in here. I might just like actually edit, like clip this down and stuff. Yeah, The Last Hero of Nostalgia, and I think it's a must play. Do I ever suggest it to you? No, because you understand that I don't play single player games. You know it's not for me. Love that for you. Love that for me. For real, for real. So I played all the Legend of Zelda games except for 2. Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, and what's that one? A Link Between Worlds? I didn't play Link Between Worlds. So A Link Between Worlds. What is this one called? Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. I watched a full playthrough of Breath of the Wild. When I say a full playthrough, I mean I watched like 45 hours of the game. Like 45 hours between like doing other things. And I've watched about 10 hours of Tears of the Kingdom, and I've seen the full main story. Hey, Lena. And I've seen the full main story. I don't like those games. They are not for me. I have watched enough of them to know they're not for me. I don't care how many 10 out of 10s, 5 out of 5s, 4.5s, 9.5s out of 10, 11 out of 10s, 100 out of 10s I fucking see. The game's not for me. I do not fall for this shit. Some of you do. And I think that's a big reason why we get into games, because All my homies are playing it. Oh, dude, all my homies are playing it. All my homies are playing it. That's why I tried Strive. Everyone said Strive was good. I no longer fall for that shit. Everyone's like, Strive is good as fuck. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll try Strive. Right? I got a bot for me, so I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll play Strive. Yeah, let me play some Strive. And I tried it. I didn't like it. And then I tried it again the next day, and I didn't like it. And I continued to try it and tried to like it because my friends liked it. Don't fucking do that shit to yourself.
Yeah, right? I think this is another big reason why we often keep playing games that we hate. Socially, we know that many people can't be crazy.
No, they are.
Right? What do they know that you
I'm not the weird one.
So
you motherfuckers are.
Keep playing.
I'm normal, bitch.
Answers. In some cases, it's worth your time. In others, it is not. But if you're chasing these same,
I'm a live streamer on Twitch.tv. Am I really fucking normal? Never mind. I take that back. I'm not normal. You guys are. I'm crazy. Thanks.
Is regretfully gone, and there's no getting it back.
There's no getting that time back. He's right. So the faster you figure out that something's not for you, the better. Truly.
We've talked a lot today about if the game you can't walk away from is actually bad, but what if the game is
crazy? I was crazy once.
What if you adore that game? You've recommended it to everyone you know, you have a Triforce tattoo, you've named your firstborn child Cornifer, and then one day
the game starts to suck for you.
A flaw. One day you find yourself a little irked by how tedious
something. Look at that. Oh, you fell all the way down.
Realize that you and this game are actually just
in an abusive relationship. Yep, you're just in an abusive relationship, bro. Oh, an old married couple? That's funnier.
Song lyrics of all time comes from an old Rupert Holmes song, Escape, the Pina Colada song. I was tired of my lady. We'd been
a rubber room full of rats?
Like a worn-out
recording. Are you okay?
Of a favorite song. And I think it's a fantastic line because it perfectly encapsulates, not just in the context of relationships, but in all things in life, how too much of a good thing can sour that thing for you. I had a decent idea of what I was going to write about when I came up with this topic, even before I posted this question for you guys. And you've seen responses.
Oh yeah, someone calls me crazy, I'll do that.
Something I did
They locked me in a rubber room full of rats.
Was comments like this, pointing out that when you play something so long that you become intimate with every little detail of the game, you start noticing cracks, flaws, idiosyncrasies that annoy the hell out of you.
It took me all of an hour to realize in Soul Calibur 6, I'm going to use this as a reference a lot because it's one of the most recent modern fighting games I have the most time in, that I didn't like Reversal Edge. It took me all of an hour. But what took me longer to realize that I also didn't like Soul Charge. I also didn't like the way free GI worked. I didn't like the amount of potential waiting on offense and literal RPS the game forces you into because there's just not enough plus frames on hit. It took me thousands of hours to figure that part out. I knew from the first 30 minutes, from the first hour, I was not going to like Reversal Edge, even from the online playtests. But I didn't realize how much more of the game I didn't like. It took me years to find these other flaws and really come to grips with the fact that they were souring my experience with the game and that there was nothing I could do about it. That is the way the game is designed. Those are not flaws, they're game design decisions. And that means the game, as I know it, is not for me, and there's nothing I can do to change it.
Maybe it's that certain attacks on a boss are unavoidable under the right circumstances. Maybe it's that the in-game economy is kind of wonky. Maybe it's that a particular stretch of the game always drags and doesn't really add anything. Maybe it's
I hate that part of the game. When you have to get the Triforce piece shard, that part of the game was so bad. I love Wind Waker. Wind Waker is my favorite Legend of Zelda game, and I'm glad he brought up the Triforce fucking chart maps, because those things were the dumbest fucking part of the... I was like, how do you take all this cool fucking action, and then you're just like, this part of the game is just a tedious search. Okay. Wind Waker's the best. Wind Waker is literally the best, but there's still a flaw. Like,
obsolete.
There was a time where I would have been like, Wind Waker's the perfect Legend of Zelda game. Dude, there's nothing wrong with Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. It's perfect. It's the best. And like after playing through it 5 or 6 times, I can tell you, yeah, there's little flaws here and there and there and there. But it's still my favorite. I still love it, right? I won't say that I hate the game for it, but there are problems with everything. Like there's no such thing as a perfect video. RuneScape. There's no such thing as a perfect video game other than RuneScape.
The presence of other alternatives and don't really ever contribute to the gameplay. Maybe you should play something else.
He's spitting.
We've talked about variable reinforcement schedules and sunk cost fallacies and games that make you rage, but somehow
You continue
this is
to
the
play.
one that's the most heartbreaking for me to think about. Because it's not that you keep playing because you think eventually it'll get good, or that you feel like you're in too deep to cut your losses, or that the hatred makes winning mean more.
It's that you
It's
love
not
the
really-
game. It's that you love the game so much that you can't see yourself actually hating the game. You love the game enough that no matter what is wrong with it, you're like, maybe it's me. No. Like, no. It's not you. It's me. It's me.
hatred at all. It's just something beautiful, slowly wilting. It's the realization that something you love so deeply is flawed, and that you'll never get to have that magical first playthrough again. Is it better to leave the game once you're done and move on to something else so that you can remember it fondly?
Yes.
Or to indulge yourself
Yes.
in the experience over and over until you're absolutely sick of it?
No.
Which I think weaves nicely into the last thing I want to talk about today. What we take away from all of this. When do we know it's time to walk away from it?
I already explained my reasoning.
And the answer honestly depends entirely
On you, yeah.
I think it's important
person,
to
it's different.
understand what you are looking for when you play a game. What are you chasing? If it's to be competitive in a meta that seems to have left you in the dust, it's up to you to decide if it's worth your time to catch up and then
And keep up.
Do you love the pursuit of getting better that much? Are you still playing that gacha game because you're afraid to miss out on the new content and feel like you have too much time and money invested? Or do you play
I put like $150 into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. I don't put money into gacha games. I hate to. I haven't put any money into Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I haven't put any money into Magic the Gathering Arena. Even though I love card games. I love card games. I love online card games especially, right? Because you don't have to like change out your sleeves constantly and buy actual physical cards. Like there's nothing to keep up with, right? Like I have cats. Like I don't want them to pee on my cards or scratch my cards, anything like that, right? Damage them as it were. So when I had to tell myself, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is coming out, do I really want to keep playing Duel Links? Do I really think Duel Links is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Experience for me that makes me want to keep playing Yu-Gi-Oh? No, it wasn't. And I had put in $150, which is an exorbitant amount for me because I don't put money into card games like that. I had to let it go. Because the problem was, if I don't let it go, and I want to keep up with that meta, because I am inherently just a little bit more competitive than most people who play something like Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, or even Duel Links, I'm going to put more money into the game. I'm going to be putting more money into a game that I'm not fully invested into or in love with, you know? Why do that to yourself?
because you adore the community, the characters, and the story?
Yeah, you don't need to put
that's
money into Master
expected
Duel
of
either.
you?
That's a really good thing.
Are you playing this because you want to understand the buzz, or are you playing this because you're genuinely captivated by your time with it? Is the victory worth what the game is putting you through? Are you
They're
still
strangely
having
generous.
fun
It's
on
because of
this
how brutal
playthrough,
Yu-Gi-Oh! Is. It's kind of
or
hard to
are you
keep
just
people.
trying
You
to
can't.
recapture
Like, you
the
have to let
wonder
people be able to
of
make
your
2 or 3
first
free
steps
decks,
in this world?
or they're not
Is
going to
it
want to play
time
because
to
they're going to make
avert
one
your
deck.
gaze?
The big problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is they're gonna make one deck and it's gonna be really bad because most people who play Yu-Gi-Oh! Are very casually minded. So they're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna make Blue Eyes, oh, I'm gonna make Dark Magician, oh, I'm gonna make Red Eyes, I'm gonna make Buster Blader, I'm gonna make, Yosenju, I'm gonna make something bad, something fucking trash, something dog shit. And then when they realize that it's bad, but they spent a bunch of gems on it, they still need more gems to make something competitive. So they can grind through the low ranks with their fun, cool Luna Light deck or their Deskbot deck, and then when they get to the higher ranks, they gotta make Branded, or they gotta make Flu, or they gotta make, actually Flu's really cheap. I suggest everyone make Flu, or they gotta make see, that's what I mean. And Six Samurai is dummy expensive. You spent all your fucking gems on that.
To let this flower wilt and go find a new horizon? The answer is up to you, of course, and I think as I'm writing these closing lines, I'm realizing what this video has really been about. Letting go, knowing when to move on. And it's not lost on me how first world problem-y this sounds. A man has crisis over when to stop playing games. I get it. I'm the same guy who made a video about having too much to play. Oh, poor me. But
Backlog,
this
yeah.
is something that real people...
Hey, I love this
really
deck. This is a
deal
blast to
with.
play, true.
And I think it speaks more to their nature as humans than it does to the games they play. What have you not let go of? What are you waiting on? Where is your sunk cost? What is your concord? Whatever it is, I hope you find what you're looking for soon, even if it means you have to look somewhere else entirely. So if you love what you're playing, I hope you never hate it. And if you hate what you play, I hope you love hating it.
This was an amazing video.
Hey, you.
This was an amazing video.
This is the third video in a row that I really did not like when I started writing it, but
Dude.
I'm somehow really happy with now that I
Dude,
finished.
this video is sick. This guy did great.
If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. He's for real, for real. He's spitting. I actually subscribed right as we started the video because this video was that good. Just the first second had me hooked. I'm sorry, the first like minute when he was talking about the plane, and I immediately, because it said, why do we keep playing? Why do we play games we hate? I was like, he's gonna relate this to games. He's gonna spin this, and it's gonna be fucking beautiful. And this whole video was amazing. What's the link? Yeah, I'll send you the link right now. I can do that. This guy, dude, I know there's only 6 or 7 of y'all in here, or maybe there's 10 of y'all. I don't have my viewer count on, right? Go subscribe. I know that I'm only adding like 5 or 10 subscribes to this guy, but this guy's video was dope. I subscribed. If there's new videos, I'm gonna watch those. Maybe not on stream. As long as it can somehow relate to like fighting games or something, or card games, I might take a looky-loo. But otherwise, I'm gonna be watching these off stream because I think they're amazing video essays. The big deal is the huge takeaway is, if you're loving the game you hate, continue to play it. If you're hating the game you love, let it go, right? I think he said it at the end perfectly, right? Because a lot of these games are meant to make you hate them. Okay, so I'm not telling you as a Dark Souls player, I'm gonna close this out. I'm not telling you as a Dark Souls player to stop playing Dark Souls because you hate it, but at the same time you love it. Okay, but I am telling you right now that if you're fucking 5,000 hours deep in Final Fantasy 15, but it's not as rewarding as it used to be, and you don't want to make any more characters, and all your friends stop playing, and you loved it, but now you hate it, probably let it go. Let it go. It's okay to let go of things that at one point you loved. It happens in life too, okay? I'm sure some of you gamers have had relationships before where you were in love and now you're not, and you let that go. If you can do that with a person, with something that actually has feelings and emotions, I'm sure you can do it to a video game that will not hurt when you let it go. Thanks for watching. I'm probably going to edit this down. This would be way too long if I don't. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys next time.